You're watching Joy Business. Joy News. Today's time for business. The new Energy Minister, John Peter Mewu, says he has plans to focus heavily on programs that would help families stabilize power generation in the country. So how does he intend to execute this plan after he was named as the Minister of Energy in the latest ministerial reshuffle? There is more in the following report.
Mr. Mewu tells Joy Business he also wants to look at reducing the cost of power generation and utility tariffs.
They need to make power more available to all citizens of this country at a more affordable price, and to make sure that the level of interruptions that results as a result of the shortfall in power supply, we should be able to minimize those frequent interruptions. Again, it's also an agenda to make sure that the rural electrification program started by the previous government should be well intensified.
The minister has also indicated he would be working to fast-track the process of exporting the excess power to neighboring countries. Mr. Mewu is moving to the Energy Ministry from the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources. This was after the substantive minister, Emmanuel Boakye-Jarko, was sacked from government. Other ministers that should be of interest to the business community are Kofi Ada, who is moving to the Aviation Ministry from the Sanitation Ministry. Former Bno Ahafo Regional Minister, Kwekwa Samwa-Chireme, is heading to the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. Cecilia Abnadapa is now the minister responsible for sanitation and water resources.
The ARB Apex Bank has observed the current tax regime is stifling growth of rural and commercial banks. Managing Director Kujumata, though, acknowledges tax is essential for national development, but says the 25% tax rate is enormous. Speaking at the commissioning of the Akumadan Rural Bank Limited, he called for concession for these banks.
Mr. Mata believes the tax concession will enable the RCBs adequately carry out their social responsibilities.
Currently, the tax has been increased to 25%. We would like to appeal to government to reconsider the tax rates on rural and community banks and reduce it to, say, 12.5%, so that the rural banks will have some level of relief and use the tax savings to do things for the community. They could be asked to use the savings to support education, health, security, and things like that. They can also ask the rural ARB Apex Bank to monitor what the tax savings have been utilized for.
Akumadan is a major tomato and other agricultural commodity production hub. Economic analysts believe the advent of the bank provides opportunity for financial inclusion for residents for agricultural expansion. Global Investment Bankers, which is behind the initiative, is optimistic the local economy will benefit from the bank's presence. Isaac Kwatim Bedu is president of the Global Investments and executive director of the new bank.
Microfinancing and serving the unbanked rural folks. So in our case, we also realize a gap where most of the banking or the bank public is lack of information regarding financial services, and that's where we're going to also look at and preparing some public educational training regarding banking and financial service products. Even borrowing, there are clients who, the fact that loan is made available, they want to borrow and without knowing how to manage the loans. And therefore, we think that educating the client before the decision to take to borrow and what to use the money for and how to repay is very, very important, because a loan is taken for the money to work so that we'll be able to pay the loan. But we don't borrow money from a bank and consume it and spend it on maybe consumables. You borrow money to turn it around into your business. Therefore, we must emphasize that when we are training our clients. So we are coming up with different forms of training models we're going to give to our clients.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
Well, at the top of the hour, we'll be bringing you the marketplace. We want to connect you now to the Joy Business Newsroom, where Emmanuel Abuajiri is on standby with what to expect. Emmanuel.
Hi, Daryl. Thank you very much, and I can hear you loud and clear. Like you said, we're getting ready for the marketplace, and of course, today we're going to talk about some energy stories. The new Minister of Energy, John Peter Mewu, is outlining his plans to help families stabilize the power situation in the country as he takes over the office of the Energy Ministry. We'll bring you some details of that particular story shortly on the marketplace. And also, the news coming in is that Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire have finally successfully plotted their maritime boundaries following the ruling of ITLOS last year. So, if you could quite remember, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire petitioned or went to the ITLOS to settle the scores of the maritime boundary over the exploitation of the two countries' hydrocarbon resources. The implementation committee set up has finally come through with a report. So we're going to tell you details of that particular report. We also have some stories in industry, and industry is calling for the establishment of a bank for industry itself to facilitate the easy access to credit and other stories also related in industry. So it's going to be quite exciting on the marketplace shortly when we come to you, Daryl.
Definitely. We will be linking up at 1 o'clock for the latest on the marketplace. That's it for business. Thanks for watching. My name is Daryl Kwa.